Hello folks, and welcome to another video. So yeah, so this new setup, I got the camera is a little bit closer to me. As to before, the camera was probably like a half a foot further away. So I guess you'll see more of my mug being this close. Anyways, my water. Darn bug already flying in my ear. Yes, this is AJ Fernandez AVO Nicaraguan cigar. I think it's the Uvezian. It's just Synchro. It's okay. I can't pronounce the Spanish word for it. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get it toasted. And this is a smaller cigar, so you know. Like what I had the other day was like a big old touch it up. Oh, there it goes. There we go. Good tasting cigar. Nice, really nice aroma, fragrance. So AJ Fernandez does make this. This is a box press, by the way. So basically, box press means that someone rolled it by hand. The cigar is round, then they stick it in a box and press it. It's just for looks. It has nothing to do with you know, enhancing flavor or anything like that. It's just for looks. I guess it holds a little bit better in the hand, I guess, since it is kind of a box squared off. I guess locally, my garden, the dogs, and nothing's really changed much since the other day. I made the other video, and yes, tonight it is a little bit warmer out actually. No wind at all. I guess there's a. I guess it's Saturday, so it's a weekend smoke. Touch this up just slightly. There we go. Nice and smooth draw, by the way. The humidor was a little bit low. The humidity was like 60, 63, so it's a little bit low. But that's okay. As I said, I'd rather smoke a slightly drier cigar than one that's too moist, too wet. Yeah, the tomatoes are still coming in. Now I'm able to pick like about 10 to 20 per day. That's turning orange. So I'm picking them as they turn orange, as opposed to waiting for them to turn red. Because again, tomatoes ripen off the vine, or while off the vine they continue to ripen. I don't know if I'm going to get any more cucumbers. I'm still watering the plant. The leaves are starting to die because of the pests. I failed on my watermelon, and I tried a second watermelon patch. And you know, I got a couple that sprouted, and they're not getting any bigger than the size of a softball. And you really can't eat those. It's not sweet at all. It's very bland. I tried. I said, hey, if it's sweet, that's cool. Had the same problem with my first watermelon patch for the summertime. They weren't getting any bigger than you know. I think the biggest one I got was like probably twice the size of a softball, but the rind was like 2 inches thick. So when I opened it up, it had an innard, but you know, again, it wasn't sweet. It's very bland tasting, and I don't know how. I guess I have to look on YouTube, the DIY section of YouTube, see what people are doing to get their watermelon. No, I wasn't expecting mine to get to the size of the watermelons at the stores, because those are all chemically induced. get them to that size. Now I was hoping mine got at least a half that size, but you know, they probably got to like 1/4, a quarter size of the ones, 1/5 maybe. Where's that little dog? She's out here somewhere. She's not barking. And usually if she's not barking, that means she's up to no good. Right, so anyways, I've so I wasn't able to catch it live when Herschel Walker versus Warnock debate for the Georgia Senate. Now I caught the Abbott and Beto debate live, and well, Abbott he didn't really go in because he didn't have to go in on Beto. You know, he caught Beto lying about 3 times. Like, that's a complete lie. What he said. Here's the truth. You know, I passed this. You know, I passed this in the law. Or I did this or that. And it was a good back and forth between Beto and Abbott. You know, it was basically Abbott's debate to lose, which he didn't. And of course, in the Herschel one, yesterday I saw bits and clips of it, and today I watched the whole thing. It's about an hour. So at the beginning, Herschel Walker did kind of stumble over his words a little bit, because he's a athlete and now business owner, no dad. He's not really a politician. You know, he didn't go through the he didn't go through a Harvard or some Ivy League school. You know, didn't get in with some big lawyer firm and got into a political career, or he was a lawyer for some politician. Now Warnock, on the other hand, he's a pastor. He's a Baptist church pastor, Southern Baptist Church. And you gotta scratch your head, you know. The dude is preaching the Bible, but he's pro-abortion. You know, it's like you know. But of course, throughout his when they got to the abortion part, he kept mentioning women's health. Oh, this is for the women. This is for women's health. Do you realize how many women die? You know, because they can't get an abortion? It's for women's health. He didn't mention anything, you know, about the child in the womb. Of course, Herschel Walker brought that up. He mentions women, but he doesn't mention what's in the child that's in the woman's womb. And let's not forget, he is a pastor. And of course, Warnock is a smooth talker. He is a pastor. When you go to seminary, or as folks call it, cemetery school, they teach you how to stand up at the pulpit and preach and talk to people. They teach you how to express yourself, how to project your voice, how to enunciate and stuff like that, certain words to get people's emotions. So if he comes out as a better speaker, it's because he's had training in it. You know, it's kind of like Obama. You know, I call Obama the smooth BS talker. Darn bug. Oh, I think that's Ladybug. But I said, Herschel Walker, as the debate went on, he got more comfortable. He was more relaxed. I'm pretty sure that he was tensed up. You know, I would be tensed up. You know, I'm like, hey, dude, man, I understand exactly what you're going through. You know. Heck, just doing these videos, I'm basically talking to myself, talking to a camera, you know, talking to an invisible audience, and I'm stumbling over my words. This is a good cigar, man. It's not very big. It's a nice 20-minute smoke, but again, since I sit here and yak, you know, put the cigar down, take my time. When you smoke a cigar, you shouldn't be rushing. You know, it's like, all right, man, you know, I should be done with this cigar by 20 minutes. So I'm gonna smoke it, make sure I'm done. You know, some people may smoke faster. Some people like me may smoke it slower. So this is, you know, on average, is about 20 to 30 minute smoke. If you sit here and just relax, enjoy the cigar. And of course, Herschel Walker made a lot of good conservative points. Considering he was, I don't know if you could consider Warnock a heretic, you know, because he is a pastor who's you know, pro-abortion. I mean, that's a heretic, you know, in my opinion. You know, he's talking about insulin, and Herschel Walker should have bought it. You know, hey, Trump had an executive order called price match, and this pretty much match the price of medication, insulin, with the lowest price that's in other countries. And I've mentioned this in other video. Like my mom, she was paying like $50, $60 for her insulin. And of course, as soon as Biden got in office, he overturned Trump's price match EO. So now she's paying like $360. So his crying about his 80-year-old mom, you know, having to pay expensive or high price for insulin. Hey man, blame it on Biden. He undid Trump's, you know, price match executive order. I was like, come on, Herschel, say it. You know, mention the Trump, you know, price match executive order that Biden overturned. That's why Warnock. That's why your mom is paying high price for her insulin. Of course, I don't live in Georgia. I'm in Texas. Unfortunately, none of the senators from Texas, none of their term is up. Cruz is up in 2024. John Cornyn, who needs to be voted out, by the way. You know, he's the one that co-wrote the red flag law that the Senate passed. He shouldn't be. You know, he should actually step down. As a matter of fact, he's up in 2026. What he should do is just be quiet and sit his ass down. You know. Let's see here. But yeah, but if you haven't watched it, no, definitely check it. It is on YouTube. YouTube didn't take it down. And yes, Georgia, places like Atlanta, you know, 77% black population. That's Fulton County. I think there's 2 or 3 other big cities in Georgia that is pretty heavy populated with black folks, with the black population. But Georgia itself, it's a really beautiful state. Lots of wilderness. You know, if you go outside of Atlanta, lots of wilderness, trees, you know, stuff like that. Darn bugs, get out of my hair. And of course, go vote November 8th. Don't do early voting. This light is like causing halo in my contacts. Hey, calm down. No barking. Yeah, so go vote November 8th, and it is that time of the year where if you got some vacation time, if you got some personal time, you know, go ahead and take November 8th off. It's either use it or lose it. It is that time of the year where, yeah, you use it or lose it. So if you're one of those folks who didn't take your vacation or didn't take your personal time, you know, your time is running up for you to lose your vacation, your personal time. So go ahead and just take November 8th off, and you know, wait until like you know, mid-afternoon for you go. If you go in the morning, it's gonna be a bunch of geriatrics, people a lot older than me. Bugs flying up your nose, and in your ear, in my ear. Or if you work second shift, the the 12 noon, to 10 o'clock, 12 to 9, or 12 to 10. No, actually it'd be like 12 to 8 or 12 to 9. Just get up a little extra early. Go vote. Or if you're or if you're one of those like me who's early first shift, the 7 to 4 people. Just make sure you go straight to the poll or come home first. Get a drink of water, whatever. Then head to the polls. Or just take the day off, or take a half a day if your boss allows you to. Yes, and this Ukraine thing. So basically, the question is, if the White House, if the Biden admin sees, they came out and said, hey, Ukraine's not going to win. So if Ukraine's not going to win, then why not come to the table and try to barter a truce? Not necessarily a peace deal, because the Korean War, there was never a peace. There was just a truce. They made the 38 parallel, or I forget which degree that line is between North Korea and South Korea. Yeah, so there's never a peace. There was just a truce. So if you can't barter a peace deal, at least barter a truce. Towards Russians, like, okay, we got what we need. We're going to keep our soldiers back here. Ukraine, NATO, U.S. You guys keep your soldiers on the other side. And as long as missiles, or or put a demarc, a no man's zone between the eastern part of Ukraine who broke away, and Ukraine, just put like kind of North and South Korea, put a no man's land there. Because if nukes go off in 30 minutes, we're all dead. Like I said, the Minuteman, they're called Minuteman for a reason. It takes about by the time they launch, it takes about 15 minutes to get to Russia, and vice versa. If they launch in Russia, it takes about 15 minutes to get to the U.S. Probably about 10 minutes to get to Europe. And of course, the hypersonic, like I said, hypersonic is even quicker. It takes 5 minutes. Or is it a couple of minutes? Anyways, but yeah. So if nukes, so all of these crazy warmongers talking about, hey, NATO, go ahead and preemptively nuke Russia. Well, as soon as the nukes launch, Russia's going to launch theirs. And we're all going to be dead in about 30 minutes. So try to, and if you can't get peace, like I said, try at least do some sort of a, truce. And put a no man's land mark, between eastern and western Ukraine. And again, no big pharma's medication is going to save you from radiation poisoning, especially with the yield that the nukes we have today. There ain't going to be no nuke vax is going to save you. Supposedly iodine will help with radiation sickness, mainly your I guess what's it called, your glands, your endovascular, it's endocrine, or that's endo something. Basically, it has to do with your glands in your body. So I guess have some table salt on hand. I guess, I don't know. So. Good cigar, man. It is kind of canoeing a little bit, but I guess I'll give about another half an inch before I take the band off. It is a nice looking band, by the way. I mean, what's the dog doing? So, yeah, and of course, speaking of North Korea, of course, Kim Jong-un, he fired off like 170. It wasn't rockets. It was shells. So he fired 170 shell into the demarcation zone It's basically, again, the no man's land. It's basically, you know, 1,000,000 landmines. That's between North and South Korea. Like I said, in the Korean War, there was never a truce. No one surrendered. There wasn't any peace talk. It was just a, you know, we agreed to ceasefire, and, you know, you guys live your life, we'll live our life in South Korea. And yes, you know, Kamala Harris, she mistaken North Korea for South Korea. No, we're not allies of North Korea. Maybe DC is allies of North Korea. You know, maybe the Biden admin, you know, maybe they are allies of North Korea, but the rest of the U.S. is not. And yes, if nukes pop off, not only will Russia be popping off their nukes, but China. You know, India will join in. You know, they build up a pretty sizable nuclear arsenal. You know, and whatever nukes North Korea have, they're going to shoot it off at South Korea and Japan. You know, and whatever nukes Iran has gotten, they'll probably, you know, shoot theirs off at Israel. So Iran will nuke Israel. North Korea will nuke South Korea and Japan. while Europe, U.S., you know, Russia and China nuke each other. And yes, and just like the guy at that AOC town hall meeting that she put together, yeah, there will be no neighbors. We will all be dead. Now, the only place you might be safe, again, like I said, is down in Buenos Aires, you know, down there in Argentina, way at the tip of South America. I don't know if anyone's got any nukes aimed at South Africa. So if you're in South Africa, you might be safe. You know, if you're a scientist, you know, living in the Antarctic, you know, down there in the South Pole, is the Antarctic. I think Antarctic is South Pole. Yeah. So if you're a scientist down there studying penguins or studying ice, you'll probably be safe. Although you'll probably die from radiation sickness. So yeah, so a lot of people are coming out and they're speaking up. Hey, we don't want no nuclear war, you know. Especially those of us who, you know, were as kids, you know, in elementary school in the 80s, you know, having to duck underneath our desks because it was still the Cold War. You know, with Gorbachev and Reagan, you know, at least those two men at least they had enough common sense not to kill each other. And this reminded me of a meme that before memes became a thing. So basically, it was a picture that showed, you know, Reagan and Gorbachev, and they both have guns pointing at each other's head. And in the picture, you know, the artist drew a mechanism with strings attached to them on both guns, so that whoever pulls the gun kills both people. And that's basically what nuclear. Well, that's basically what. What's the word I'm trying to think of? It's not nuclear annihilation. It's I'm trying to think of the word here. Give me a sec. I'll figure it out. Mutual destruction. Yes, that's the word that we learned in the 80s as kids. Mutual nuclear annihilation. So if Gorbachev pulled the trigger, you know, basically Russia, you know, Russia's dead and the U.S. is dead. If Reagan pulled the trigger, you know, Russia's dead and the U.S. is dead. That's what, you know, mutual nuclear annihilation is. Actually, it's mutual something. Mutual something. Anyways, I forget. Yeah, drink of water. Maybe that'll jog my memory. Like I said, go check out the Hiroshima, you know, the aftermath of Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Hiroshima. Anyways, and yes, folks are saying the reason they nuked those two little towns was because Tokyo was already firebombed. Tokyo, if you look at pictures of Tokyo, it looks, you know, and put the caption, "This is Nagasaki or Hiroshima," people would believe you, because Tokyo was literally firebombed into the Stone Ages. There was nothing to nuke in Tokyo. And yes, and if you're wondering, and I'm wondering, you know, if you look at pictures of Nagasaki and Hiroshima, I think it's pronounced, well, I'm pronouncing it like a Westerner, so anyways, they're built up. I mean, they got, you know, they look like a town that's never been nuked. They're built up. You know, they got skyscrapers, you know, 10-story apartment buildings, roads. So basically what the Japanese government did, along with the U.S. government, was they basically took the topsoil, the radiated topsoil, and they buried it. They took it to a location, I guess dug a big hole, put all the irradiated topsoil into this hole and buried it. I have no idea where they buried it. I'm pretty sure that area is probably fenced off from the public. But knowing governments, you know, they may have built over it. So if they built over it, your business or your apartment may be on top of some nuclear waste soil. Yeah, and that's the thing with fallout. Fallout is basically radioactive dust, dust like from the ground, that kind of dust. And as long as you don't get the radioactive dust onto your skin, or if you inhale it, you'll be okay. And hence why in the 1950s they built the most families had nuclear fallout shelters, and the fallout shelters had you know, supposedly air filters, air purifiers, so that I guess once the radioactive dust and stuff blows away, or it rains and washes it out into the ocean, you can come back up. And that's what happened and also partly, the thing is, I think Hiroshima is not close to the ocean, but I think Nagasaki is. But some people are saying, yeah, the rain came, so whatever radioactive dust they couldn't bury, when the rain came, the rain washed it out into the ocean. They did the same thing with Fukushima. They took the irradiated topsoil around the Fukushima power plant, and they buried it. And same thing, rains came, so whatever that they didn't bury, the radioactive topsoil got washed out into the ocean. And of course, scientists tested the areas around Fukushima. Some, was it 10 years later on, I think 2011 or 2011 is when it happened. So 10 years later, they tested the water around Japan, and specifically around Fukushima, and it's not irradiated. So they're like, okay, well, it's not irradiated, so whatever. So the cleaning that they did definitely helped. There's no radiation, because at first the fear was that the whole Pacific Rim, from Japan to U.S., you know, to South America to Australia, were all going to be irradiated. But as it turns out, let me take the band. As it turns out, no radiation. Well, almost fell on my foot. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay. Whoop. What the heck? Alright, I'll close it on this. So, yes, these folks are also on YouTube, but if you venture off of YouTube to like BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, they're not on Gab, but they're mainly on BitChute. You're running them on Rumble and Odyssey. I call these folks the know-it-all, but you know, they're either know-it-all or these are the this time my communism will work people. You won't run into them every day, but you run into them every now and then. And sometimes they'll come onto your comment that you make on a video. I've had two. It might be the same person, but I checked it out. It's different people, but again, it might be the same person with two accounts. You know, the American what is it? let's see here, libertarian, capitalist. I was like, okay, libertarian and capitalist are two different, they're on the right side, but they're two different sides of the right. Libertarians are way off to the right. Now these are folks that, you know, no government. They're the closest thing to an anarchist. To where a capitalist is more closer to the center right. And of course, these are the, you know, who went to college. The professor told them, you know, hey, communism is good. So when these guys get out, and or they're still in college, you know, they go to these comment section, you know, start attacking people. You're an American libertarian capitalist pig. You know, and one comment, you know, they were talking about prices of goods, prices of medicine. You know, and some guy chimed in, that's capitalism right there, man, price gouging. Yeah, that is capitalism, price gouging, you're right. But with capitalism, if you don't like this one company that's price gouging, guess what? You can go to another company. That is part of capitalism. Unlike communism, where it's big brother, you know, big brother ran. If you don't like the price that big brother is charging you, guess what? You ain't got nowhere else to go. You know, big brother is it. Because communism is, you know, the government runs everything. Government runs everything in your life. They run the government. They run business. You know, they run the economy. They run the schools. They run your life. They tell you when to eat, what to wear. Yeah, hence the blue pajamas in China. You know, it's like, hey, we don't. It's like, yeah, you want to be a teacher? No, we got more than enough teachers already. We need factory workers. You're not going to college. You're going to go work at the factory. You know, your dad doesn't have enough influence to send you to college, you know, for you to attend college. Yeah, I got to fix canoeing a little bit. I got to fix it. And of course, for these folks, I don't even try to debate them. I just, you know, and a lot of times these guys are trolls. You know, I just troll them back. You know, I troll them with the, hey, yeah, keep telling yourself, this time my professor's communism will work. You know, yeah. So when you're starving and eating trash off the street, keep telling yourself my communism is going to work this time. Now, like in my case, I'm not a pure capitalist. You know, a little bit of government support is okay. You know, kind of like welfare. You know, welfare originally was put in place to help people who lost their job, maybe got injured. You know, gave them a crutch until they can get back on their feet and go find another job, or start their own business. Yeah, in communism, you can't start your own business. You know, if you do start your own business, if it gets big, you know, Big Brother's going to step in and take it over, kind of like in China. If you go to China, yeah, there are tons and tons of mom and pop restaurants, tons and tons of mom and pop street foods, you know, tons and tons of mom and pop shops. But these are small shops that are run by husband and wives, are run by the family. You know, they make enough to pay for the house, pay for a car, pay for utilities. But they're not going to be billionaires like Elon Musk. You know, your company gets big. Your company gets big, and next thing you know, you're going to be getting a knock on the door from a CCP representative, talking about, hey, you need to join the CCP so that we can help you. So we can help your company grow. If you say no, the CCP is going to be, okay, well, we're taking this over. You know, I don't know if they will even give you anything, but they will pretty much take the company over. You know, you will be kicked out to the street, or you know, or end up in jail, you know, or just end up going missing, like that CEO of that communications company. You know, it got big. The dude was a billionaire, and he just went missing. That's communism. Capitalism in itself can be corrupt, but capitalism becomes corrupt when you add things like fascism, like what we have here in the U.S. We are a fascist capitalist right now in the U.S. because you got the government telling companies, what to do, what to do and what to do against other people. That is an example of fascist capitalism. So the company themselves still run themselves. They still pay their taxes. The CEO still run the company, but the government will come in and say, hey, you guys need to do this, you guys need to do that, and we've been a capitalist, a fascist capitalism for a long time, actually for decades. Because the government and the EPA, FDA, they've been meddling in our in companies for decades. DC has been meddling in companies for decades. So yeah, so if you leave YouTube, they're on YouTube, but these guys are normally quiet on YouTube because I guess this is their home turf. But they'll go out to like Odyssey and Rumble, they'll try to tell people, hey man, you're a capitalist libertarian, you're an American libertarian capitalist pig. It's like, yeah, I sure am, yes I am, so what you gonna do about it? Just troll them back. It's all you can do. Don't try to debate them. Don't try to get in a conversation with them. Just troll them because they are trolls. Well, that's it. It is a weekend. Nothing's really come up. Of course, Trump, I guess Friday got the subpoena. I guess I'll close it on this. And Trump has said, "Hey, I'll go if you guys live broadcast it." Of course, the January 6th Unselect Committee, they were all acting big, pounding their chests. Look at Trump. He's such a coward. He won't even come to the January 6th Committee. He won't even come and defend his position. He won't come and defend his side. Well, he'll come, if you live broadcast it, Just like a Steve Bannon, he's like, yeah, if you guys live broadcast it, I'll come. But I guess for some reason he decided to revoke Trump's, because Trump, since Bannon was part of Trump's cabinet, he had Trump's executive privilege, so Bannon didn't even need to go, but I guess he went anyways. But yes, Trump doesn't have to go. He has executive privilege. He doesn't need to go and sit there and be berated by these January 6th knuckleheads. So I don't know if he's going to end up going or not, because he already gave him his response of, hey, I'll go if you guys live broadcast it. If you don't, then yeah, I ain't going. No, why am I going to go to get railroaded? So we'll see what comes of course, if things do turn red, if there is a red wave come after the midterms, yeah, there will be no more January 6th committee. There will be, of course, Republican committees that will be questioning the January 6th committee people. So I can see why they're trying to get Trump, to go to DC, because they're running out of time. And we'll see what comes of that. And no, there's not. No, you're not going to see a Trump in handcuffs. You're not going to see Trump go to jail. And of course, all of these things that they're dumping on Trump. When Republicans get into the House, and if they do take the Senate, the same thing could happen to Barry Obama, Bush. And yes, Trump did mention Bush. He's not a Bush fan either. I'm not a Bush fan. Used to be. Till I found out about the Uniparty. Yeah, I mean, at one time, prior to 2008, I would actually, say, hey man, Bush is a good guy. What the hell are you talking about? There were weapons of mass destruction, which it turns out there was none. And of course, you know, the guys who are buddy are Bush, Clinton, Obama, Biden. You know, you can add Cheney. You can add Cheney in there. You can add Mitt Romney's. McCain, he's dead. You know, pretty much all of the Bush's cabinet, they're all in with the good old boys club. You know, the DC good old boys club. You know, the only guy who's not is Trump. You know, he is when people say he is an outsider, he literally is an outsider. You know, he doesn't get invited to any of these events that Bush, Clinton, Obama, and them, you know, show up for. And oh yes, Tulsi Gabbard. Almost forgot about her. She's all over the news right now. So for Tulsi Gabbard, she's still, until she comes out and says she's anti-abortion, you know, pro-gun, pro-constitution, pro-Second Amendment, then I might lean more towards her. Right now, I'm like, you know, stay independent. You know, I don't care. You know, don't try to nuzzle your way into the MAGA movement. You know, if Rhinos welcomes her, then that's fine. I'll just label her as a Rhino. You know, she's a, you know, she doesn't like a lot of what the Democrats are doing. That's okay. But her main things, it's not a Republican. That's not a Republican thing. You know, she's pro-abortion. She's anti-gun. Hey, dog. You know, we got to give her time. Kind of like Yee. You know, Kanan West. Like I said, you know, 4 or 5 years later, he's still with the MAGA movement. You know, he's still a Trump supporter. He's one of those, I guess, folks who, you know, are awakened, got off the plantation. So you know, so something like that does happen. You know, kind of like, you know, of course, you know, Liz Cheney, who's a Republican, she's definitely going to leave the Republican Party. She's just, you know, she's kind of hinting at it now, but she's going to leave. You know, so Democrat lost Tulsi Gabbard, Republicans lost Liz Cheney. You know, will the Democrats, you know, welcome Liz Cheney? Probably, because she's already one of them. I mean, she's on the, you know, January 6th committee with you know, like, you know, was it the eight other Democrats? What are you doing, dog? Hey, that's the frog. Leave him alone. Leave Pepe alone. So as for Tulsi Gabbard, yeah, and of course people say, oh man, you know, she's really good looking. Let's welcome her into the Republican Party. My thing is, well, she's not ugly. You know, she is a good-looking woman, but you know, she's not ugly. But you know, but that's not the point. The point is, you know, she's a politician. She's supposed to be there for her constituent. I guess, which in her case is Hawaii. And I don't see Hawaii, you know, voting in a Republican Congresswoman anytime soon. Now, they may, if she stays independent, they may still vote for her, so she'll be like a congresswoman who's, you know, independent. So she still might, if she reruns for Congress, I guess for her district in Hawaii, she still might win. Of course, she couldn't, because she ran for the presidential election in 2020. She didn't. Of course, she couldn't rerun for her congressional district. Yeah, and I don't think she's running in 2022 either. So she may run for something in 2024. But like I said, if she's still, you know, pro-abortion, anti-gun, she's not gonna win as a Republican. She might win as an indie with Democrats who have you know don't like what's going on in DC. All right, well that's it. For reals this time. So enjoy your smoke, enjoy your cigar. Yeah, I kind of tore the wrapper when I took the band off. I guess there was some glue stuck on it, but that's okay. That won't affect the smoke one bit at all. Enjoy your cigarette, you know. Enjoy your weed where it's legal. Enjoy your vape, and thanks for watching.